I recently got the Kim Kardashian Vampire Facial, also known as microneedling with PRP, and the experience was interesting.
Oh, hi, Marc.
What's up, Freccero fam? Welcome back to my channel where I like to experience everything that life has to offer. Like I said, I just got this done, microneedling with PRP, aka the Kim Kardashian Vampire Facial. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about what exactly is microneedling, my before and after pictures, the whole experience and everything, the benefits, and a lot more. So getting into it, you may be wondering, like, what exactly is microneedling? Microneedling is, in a sense, a cosmetic procedure where they poke your face an absurd amount of times with a needle, a small needle, hence the name microneedling. And the idea is that it safely damages your skin so it grows back stronger. Now, when it comes to the PRP or the platelet-rich plasma, what they do, which is very interesting as well, and I am going to talk about my own experience, they take out your blood and put it through a machine, and then after doing microneedling, when your skin's damaged, they then rub the PRP on your face, because since it's your own kind of formula, so to speak, it actually helps you heal faster. So now, talking briefly again about what it is and the benefits, you can see right here, microneedling is a procedure designed specifically to invoke the healing response in your skin by causing microtrauma in a targeted way. I look at it very similar to almost like working out. You work out to damage your muscles in a sense. They have to grow back stronger. Likewise, kind of similar when it comes to microneedling. And in terms of the benefits, it improves the quality and texture of your skin, reduces pockmarks and scarring, reduces blackheads, treats acne and cystic acne, exfoliates the skin, makes you look younger by reducing fine lines and wrinkles, and then lastly, reduces hyperpigmentation and evens skin tone. With that being said, now let's look at the microneedling before and after pictures. I took pictures in succession, right? Typically, this is a month-long thing. You do it once and your skin heals over the course of a month. This is the first picture, right? This is right before the procedure. I will say some of these pictures are taken in different lighting situations, which I know is kind of unfortunate, but to show you, it's kind of the before picture. This is right before the procedure, right? Now, I am going to show you what it looked like exactly or right after it. I'm going to give a quick like blood warning because I know some people get a little queasy. So here's how I looked, and this is immediately after the procedure. So pretty ridiculous, right? Decent amount of blood. It almost looks like my face got like scraped on like concrete. And I will say this didn't really hurt that much during the procedure. I'm going to talk about my own personal experience, but I was doing kind of like a goofy face here. Here's like a, so this is how he looked immediately after the procedure, right? So of course your skin heals, of course, right? Doesn't look like that forever. Here was that night. Now, typically you don't shower that night. You actually, the best way to do it is to actually shower the next morning. Again, I'm going to talk about my entire experience of everything I did, the procedure, the kind of before of it, and of course the after of what you're supposed to do. And then here was the next day. So this is the next morning after I showered, right? This is 5 days afterwards. I don't know. It's funny. Some faces I'm like smiling. Some I'm just like stoic, right? This is now another one, day 5, right? Just to show you. I like to do both kind of like a stone face and a smiling face just to show you kind of differences. This is 1 week afterwards. I don't know what's going on with my hair. Kind of look like one of those like weird, what do they call those weird doll things? This is another one. Then this is 10 days afterwards, right? This is 2 weeks afterwards. I know the lighting's a little different in this. This is actually a shot I did when I was filming a video. This is 3 weeks afterwards. You can see. This is 4 weeks afterwards. So two different ones I'll show you. Both like a kind of like a stone face. So I'm not, you know, doing anything, and then smiling with expression. And now, here is the final before and after of me doing microneedling, the picture right beforehand, and then the final picture after an entire month. Boom. So this is what I look like. You can see, I guess, you know, some slight differences. I will say there's a couple like spots I had, or blemishes, if that's the right word, or whatever the phrase is, that seemed to go away. Some wrinkles and whatnot went away as well. Of course, these are taken in different lighting situations, but you can see kind of the difference and the improvement when it comes to my skin. Now I'm going to talk about my whole experience trying this out, because it was very interesting. As most people know on this channel, I love trying out new things. That's kind of the whole point of this channel, me experiencing everything that life has to offer. I've heard about this a lot because obviously living here in Los Angeles, it's, you know, super common to get microneedling and all this kind of cosmetic stuff done. And I was like, you know what? I'll try it out. You know, I figured like, why not type thing. Now, here's kind of what happened with me. And I will say this too. I'm going to give you some pro tips if you are planning on doing microneedling, just because there's a lot to it that I didn't expect. And I remember reading that the procedure itself is just as important as what you do after the procedure in terms of the benefits and optimizing the benefits. Now, first off, leading up to the procedure itself, you don't want to shave the day of. They do state shave the night beforehand, which is what I did, just to make it a lot better, because if you have, like, say, too much hair, it actually will dull out the needle quicker. So that's a big thing. Another thing is no blood thinners or different vitamins before the procedure. I do suggest talking to the agency that you're going through or wherever you're getting it done, just to ask like, hey, what should I not do leading up to the procedure? I'm not a doctor or a licensed professional, and I never pretend to be one in any of my videos. So of course, always ask them, you know, but these are the couple things that I do remember of: no blood thinners, especially no alcohol, you know, the few days leading up to it. Now, the day of, you're supposed to bring a hat. I'll talk about why in a second. But you get there typically, like I said, no blood thinners or anything the day of. Don't shave the day of as well. So what happens is when you get there, and I might as well say I did this at the skincare agency here in LA. I don't have any affiliation with them or anything. Might as well just say that. I got there, and the first thing they did is took the before pictures. I think more for their reference or whatever. Then they took my blood out. So they will use like a needle or an IV to take out your blood. They only take out a little bit. So it's not like donating blood. It's not that much. It's only a little bit. And this is for the PRP. And then they put this kind of cream on your face that numbs your face. It feels super weird. Gotta be honest. Super, super weird. It numbs your face. And then you wait about, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 minutes or something like that. You then go in and they use this kind of like machine that's looks like almost like a big pen with a needle that goes super fast, and it pokes a lot of holes, and in a very careful but calculated way, it damages your face in terms of micro traumas that, of course, your face is going to heal, and the healing process is what gives you all the benefits. So it takes about, I'd say, 25 to 30 minutes for the procedure itself. You don't really feel anything. It just kind of feels like odd poking. I will say, though, depending on how the cream was like distributed, if like say they get to like the hairline here or like around the outer edges, sometimes you can feel it a little bit. And I'm like, stings a little bit, but it's not really that bad. To be honest, it's really not that bad. And after the microneedling is done, they will then take your PRP, it's in like a small little vial, and rub it all over your face. So that's kind of the PRP aspect along with microneedling. Then afterwards, as you saw from the photo, your face is gonna look pretty ridiculous, right? That's just kind of the procedure. And now here's the big thing. After that, you're pretty much good, right? Now, I'd say about a half hour to hour after the procedure, any talking or especially laughing, which is the worst, hurts. Like your face does kind of hurt a little bit. It almost feels like you got a wicked bad sunburn. That's the best way I can describe it. Now, talking about sun and why I suggest and they tell you to bring a hat is the 2 weeks after you get the procedure. There's a few things that you want to do, by the way, which I'm going to talk about. But the first 2 weeks, your face is going to be extremely sensitive, and you do not want to be in the sun at all, especially the day of the procedure. So typically you bring a hat, and when you drive home, I remember like putting the thing down and trying to like avoid my face for any sun getting in it, because your face is super, super sensitive. And if you get, like, say, too much sun in it the next couple weeks, if anything, because it's so sensitive, it could actually make the results not as good or maybe non-existent. Now, in terms of after the procedure, in terms of what you should do, like I said, 1, avoid sun for the next 2 weeks. They do say for optimal results, avoid it for the next month. That's actually what I did. But they say, look, for the first 2 weeks, super strict, avoid sun at all costs. The 2 weeks after that, I mean, if you want to go out, just make sure you wear sunscreen and everything. Make sure it's a really good sunscreen as well. But for optimal results, avoid the sun for the next month after getting it done. Now, once you get home, your face will eventually look dried, as I showed you kind of in the photos. So it won't look as bad, right? It will start to heal. But because like the PRP and everything's still on your face, you want to wait a while until you take a shower, which I know sounds kind of weird, but just tell your friends and family like, hey, I'm going to look weird today, right? But the next day I'll look a little bit better. And what I was told in terms of optimal results is to keep it on until the next morning, and the next morning, then take a shower. That's the best advice I got, because the longer it's on your face, the better the results are going to be. So one huge pro tip I got, as you can imagine, make sure you wash your pillowcase. That's a bunch of bacteria and stuff you don't want to deal with, right? Now, one thing I will say, my first night when leaving it on my face, I would wake up And one, it was kind of painful. I'm not gonna lie, it did kind of hurt, right? Because obviously you just got this procedure done. But two, the itchiness, the most itchy feeling I've ever had in my entire life. It was so bad I'd wake up and be like involuntarily about to like scratch or touch my face. I'm like, no, 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 no. And I have to stop. It itched so bad, it legitimately hurt. The first night was pretty rough, I'm gonna be honest, just because the itchiness was so bad. Then the next morning I woke up, and one pro tip I got as well is if you can, only take cold showers. I will say I do cold showers every morning anyway for health reasons. So I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll just only do cold showers the first 3 or 4 days after the procedure. And also they suggest to use a gentle cleanser. So I use a gentle cleanser in the shower, and afterwards, as you saw from the photo, even after 1 day, did not look that bad at all. Just kind of looked like my face was scruffed up a little bit, or maybe like a light sunburn. From that point, for the next 4 or 5 days or so, what they told me is to avoid blood thinners, no alcohol, and a big one that you do not want to forget about is no working out. Because if you work out or do anything that causes you to sweat a lot, and like say it opens up your pores and everything, that sweat and the bacteria and everything, not the position you want to be in. So that's why they also suggest if you can only do cold showers, because let's say you take a very long hot shower and you get like a little sweaty from the heat or whatever. You know, of course, no saunas either. Even if you're avoiding sun, I try to avoid going outside at all, because let's say if I'm outside and it's hot out, you know, so I'm blasting the AC. So that's a big thing to avoid heat. And in addition, no shaving for the next, I think for the first 4 or 5 days after getting the procedure. After those 4 or 5 days, when you've avoided all this kind of stuff, at that point, then you just kind of wait. I'll say for me, and this is what I've noticed when I did microneedling, is the first couple weeks, I'm like, I feel like I kind of look the same. I feel like the biggest benefits were starting to become noticeable, at least for me, the way my skin reacted to it, is around week 3 to 4. I found after a few weeks, the jump of the visibility of me, let's say looking better or whatever, I feel like happened around week 3. From like day 21 to day 28 is I feel like when I really notice the benefits. So it was definitely a lag. I will say that. I think, you know, they even say that for most people, you're really not going to notice any benefits till at least a couple weeks out, till at least 2 or 3 weeks out. So keep that in mind. And I got to be honest, it was a fun thing to do. And in my opinion, I did ask a lot of the doctors there, and I want to stress, like I've said, I'm not a doctor. Are there any other benefits to this besides cosmetic? And they said, not really. It's primarily a cosmetic procedure that just makes you look younger. That's the main kind of benefit of it. It is good for your skin and everything, but the main goal of it is to make you look younger and healthier and fuller, so to speak. However, I have a theory, and again, this is just a theory, so I might be wrong. I want to stress that I could see this though being good for anti-aging. I have heard of studies where, like, say they showed people a bunch of different faces, like elderly people's faces or older people's faces, and said, okay, we're not gonna tell you how old they are, but rank them in order of how young they look to how old they look. And what they found is regardless of how old the person actually was, the people that looked younger lived longer than the people who looked older, regardless of their actual age. And I feel like we've all been there too when we've seen people who are, like, say 50 who look like they're 80. But then I've seen people who are 80 who look like they're 50. No, of course, this is not an exact science, and I want to stress that. At least to me, I'm like, okay, if my skin's being damaged and I'm creating micro trauma in my skin, and as a result, my skin has to create more collagen or increase collagen production. Remember, collagen is not just used for looking good, it's used for a bunch of other things when it comes to your body, and it's super important. And your skin, of course, and skin health is incredibly important. I have a feeling, and again, this is just a theory, this may be wrong, that maybe doing microneedling by creating micro trauma might in a slight sense boost a little anti-aging or create anti-aging properties given the fact of increased collagen production. I could be wrong though, it's just a theory, because when I did talk to a lot of the doctors there and the specialists, they're like, look, hate to say it, it is really just cosmetic. But I was like, you know what? Might as well try it anyway. It's gonna be a fun little thing to do. Quite the experience.